It is a quiet evening at Barrackpore in the late summer of 1856. A young man, Mangal Pandey, stands alone by the river, deep in thought. As the sun begins its descent, casting warm hues over the horizon, Mangal's mind is occupied by tales of rebellion and courage that his grandfather used to narrate. Mangal Pandey, donned in a soldier's uniform, stands amidst a crowd of fellow Indian soldiers, all listening intently as an officer briefs them on the introduction of new rifle cartridges. There is unease and whispers of discontent as the soldiers learn that the cartridges are rumored to be greased with cow and pig fat. Later that night, Mangal Pandey sits in his bunk surrounded by his comrades. They discuss the implications of using the cartridges and the assault it poses to their religious beliefs. Tension builds in the room, and Mangal's eyes burn with determination. Mangal visits a nearby temple, seeking spiritual guidance and clarity. As he prays, he recalls these stories of his ancestors who fought valiantly against oppression. He feels a growing resolve to act against the injustice. The sun rises over Barrackpore. Mangal Pandey gathers a crowd of soldiers and civilians. Standing on an elevated platform, he passionately speaks about the plight of Indian soldiers and stands firm in his refusal to use the new cartridges. Mangal's call to action begins to draw attention. Among his listeners is a young soldier named Karna, who finds himself torn between duty and belief. Karna's admiration for Mangal grows, and he decides to join him. Mangal's words spread through the ranks like wildfire. His refusal to obey orders becomes symbolic of defiance. The British officers start to take notice of the unrest and grow increasingly concerned. The British commander expresses his concerns to his superiors. He fears that if the disobedience continues, it might spark a larger revolt among the soldiers. Mangal trains his eyes on the parade grounds where soldiers practice maneuvers. Frustrated by the ongoing suppression, he boldly stands against an officer, challenging him about the fairness of their treatment. A secret meeting amongst some soldiers convenes. Mangal speaks of courage and conviction, stating that change can only come from unity and strength. Mangal's actions spark whispers of revolution across Bengal's military ranks. Soldiers discuss their grievances with him, seeking reassurance and a way forward. Karna, emboldened by Mangal's conviction, becomes his confidant. Together they spread ideas of defiance, gathering more followers each day. The day approaches when the rifles are to be distributed. Mangal and his fellow soldiers prepare for what may come by communing at makeshift camp. The British officers decide to stamp out the insubordination. They devise plans to arrest the leaders of the unrest, thus deterring others from joining. The tension reaches its peak as Mangal Pandey draws courage and steps forward. With a brazen shout, he declares his intention to revolt. An altercation ensues when Mangal confronts a British officer, sparking chaos throughout the ranks. The air becomes thick with anticipation for what might unfold. The act of rebellion bursts open, with Mangal Pandey leading his compatriots. The officers rush to quell the upheaval but are met with resistance. In the midst of chaos, Mangal Pandey spots and engages Major Usen, demanding justice for the wrongs endured by his people. As the rebellion gains momentum, Mangal's actions inspire other soldiers to join the cause. Word spreads quickly, reaching distant barracks. British forces regroup to suppress the uprising. In response, Mangal's group rearranges strategically, preparing for a stronghold defense. Karna finds himself in a dilemma, seeing friends fall, yet standing strong next to Mangal, who embodies the leadership and fortitude he admires. Mangal reflects on the motivations driving his actions, remembering family traditions, his faith, and the desire for freedom from oppression. Reinforcements arrive for the British, escalating the conflict. Mangal exchanges inspiring words with his followers, urging them not to succumb to fear. A moment of introspection approaches as Mangal scars his memories, recalling the stories of rebels whose bravery shaped his vision for a better future. Mangal's defiance standing as a beacon, stronger than ever, transcending personal pursuits to unite those oppressed by colonial rule. The betrayal hits home as some soldiers waver, uncertain if they are willing to risk their lives. Karna, however, stands unwavering. The decisive moment arrives in a clash between rebels and British forces. Mangal stands at the forefront, encapsulating his resolve. An intense duel occurs between Mangal and high-ranking British official, becoming a symbol of resistance in itself. Defiance meets brute force as the rebellion faces significant pushback, yet Mangal remains emboldened, continuing his resistance. Mangal exchanges final words with Karna, urging him to carry forth the legacy and fight for what is just and right.